Greetings, beautiful people. Welcome to the premiere episode of a series I realized I don't have a name for. If you have any recommendations, I beg you to leave them down in the comment section below. But in the meantime, let's get to know the history of the voice actor in this inaugural video, D. Bradley Baker. Best known for voicing animals across many different shows, movies, and video games, most notable among them, Appa and Momo from Avatar: The Last Airbender. Born in Bloomington, Indiana in August of 1962, Baker actually spent most of his youth growing up in Greeley, Colorado. As is typical with many actors, Baker was a performer from an early age and enjoyed working on musicals, operas, and comedy. He attended Colorado College, where he studied other fields like philosophy, biology, and even German, which he studied overseas at the University of Göttingen. I apologize for butchering of that pronunciation. I am sorry. However, the acting bug wouldn't stop biting, and after graduating in 1986, he would get involved in community theater projects and a comedy that would premiere on local television broadcasts. Baker had decided to move to Orlando, Florida, where he joined an improv comedy sketch show called the Anatomical Players, who performed at Disney World's Epcot Center. It wouldn't be until some years later, in 1993, where he was brought on by Nickelodeon for their new kids game show, Legends of the Hidden Temple, where he would premiere what could be considered his first voice acting role, because he didn't just narrate the show, but also provided the voice of the large-headed rock god Olmec.
Legends of the Hidden Temple,
a role he would later reprise in the TV movie adaptation, as well as the show's revival in 2021 on the CW. It was after he moved to California that he started to get involved in voice acting work that we all know him for. After providing many minor voices for different animated series, his first major role was as the dad in Cartoon Network's Cow and Chicken, and was also the recurring character Jolly Roger in I Am Weasel, another show that ran within Cow and Chicken.
I am Jolly Roger. I'll be a flag for you.
He would continue to voice various characters across many shows, including Johnny Bravo, Dexter's Lab, and the 90s Spider-Man cartoon. And it was in many shows like The Wild Thornberrys where he became known for his animal voices. He would gain more recurring roles as time went on, such as Bagheera in The Jungle Cubs, and more prominently, Number 4 in Codename Kids Next Door.
Positive number 4? As in positively gonna kick your butt?
Some sharp-eyed, or should I say sharp-eared, viewers may also recognize him as the recurring character Squilliam Fancyson, Squidward's rival in the still-running series SpongeBob SquarePants.
You're here.
Hello, Squiddy. We're all ready to be dazzled by your 5-star restaurant.
Oh, and we can't forget his role as the world's most famous egg-laying mammal of espionage.
Dr. Wexler, you're a platypus! Bury the platypus!
His role as Tarlok in Legend of Korra earned him a nomination for the Behind the Voice Actors Voice Acting Award back in 2012. He also received another nomination in 2017 for the Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Voice-Over Performance. One of his biggest performances, and I mean that literally, was being cast as the voice of the clones in Star Wars: The Clone Wars cartoon. That's right, not just the prominent clone, Captain Rex, all of them. Because they were clones. It makes sense. This also meant he was tapped to return as said clones in The Bad Batch, where he was able to brilliantly portray them all with unique vocal personalities. Except Omega, of course.
Hello.
His talent would bleed over to video games, not only reprising video game versions of his famous cartoon characters, but providing his voice to new video game characters, including both Atlas and Peabody from Portal 2, and the titular Joe from Capcom's Beautiful Joe series. But he wasn't beating the animal voice allegations, as he also provided the voice of Blizzard Entertainment characters, Murky from Heroes of the Storm, and Hammond, the genetically altered hamster from Overwatch. One of his more notable feature film performances was as Fish from Laika's Box Trolls, which earned him a nomination for an Annie Award. It should be noted he played other characters as well, Wheels and Bucket, but it was Fish that was the breakout performance. He would also go on to create a website devoted to voice acting known as iwanttobeavoiceactor.com, full of tips and advice for voice acting hopefuls wanting to break into the industry. For those of you interested, Mr. Baker also has some credits in live action roles, though they are minor. These include Phil Berg in The Journey of Alan Strange and Mr. Witty in Disney's Big Time Rush, a one-episode role. Baker is currently living out his life with his wife and 2 daughters in Los Angeles, California. And when he's not touring the country's many conventions, signing autographs and waxing poetic to eager fans about his prestigious career, he's relaxing with one of his favorite hobbies, nature photography. And that concludes the first episode in the series I completely forgot to name before I started, featuring D. Bradley Baker. Now clearly I didn't talk about all of his accomplishments, so please feel free to comment below what your favorite character brought to life by Baker's talent, and please comment below what voice actor you're interested in hearing about, and help me build a library, and get the word out to your friends and family so that we can grow this channel. Hello, friends and cohorts. Today, you're in for a special treat, as today's voice actor is well known not just for his work in voice acting, but also in a very specific role in the world of live-action production. On this installment of Know Your Voice Actor, we're covering the master of anime protagonists, Johnny Young Bosch. Born Johnny J. Bosch on January 6 in 1976 in Kansas City, Missouri, Johnny actually grew up in Garland, Texas. Johnny went through some tough times in his childhood and ended up becoming a bully for a while, until he was directed to a kung fu school, which he used to turn his young life around. He had won multiple competitions and was also known for playing soccer. It was his martial arts instructor that told him about the opening role for the Black Ranger in the new season of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and he landed the fated role of Adam Park, replacing Walter Emmanuel Jones, who was leaving the cast. He would continue this role through another season, and even in the big screen production, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers the movie. His role as Adam would continue through the many iterations of Power Rangers, as he would change to different colors, including its second big screen movie, and even after leaving the cast, would return for special guest star appearances. While he did have additional live-action credits, such as Broken Path and Super Ninjas, it was the world of voice acting where Johnny would continue to gain notoriety. Starting with anime TV shows, his first role was as the main protagonist Bash the Stampede in Trigun.
And you were the one solely responsible for all their deaths! Now you are also going to die!
He then joined the cast of Gatekeepers as Reiji Kageyama, Wolverine as Kiba, and even Naruto as Genma Shiranui. His next big role would be Ichiko Kurosaki, the lead character in Bleach.
So, Green Joe, here's the deal. You see, I've had a change of heart, and I can't allow myself to get beaten by someone like you.
Not long after that, he would get the role of Lelouch in Code Geass.
Schneisel, you truly are superior. So superior you can't even see it. Yes, Emperor Charles sought the past. You seek the present. But I seek the future.
He would return to the Naruto franchise in Shippuden as the villain Sasori, and then went on to play the role of Brock in Pokemon Origins. He would go on to join Fate Zero as Ryunosuke Uryu, Doraemon as Nobita, and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Phantom Blood as Jonathan Joestar.
But this is the one place I will be able to find what I came for. You're more than welcome to leave. Huh? Dio grew up in London. Where else in England could he have acquired such a toxin? I shall have my evidence and Father's antidote.
Johnny would also join the new cast of the Sailor Moon dub as the cat Artemis. He would join the world of Mobile Suit Gundam as he played the roles of Orga Itsuka in Iron-Blooded Orphans and Diarca Elsman in Gundam Seed Post-Up. He would eventually join the cast of the still-running One Piece anime as Sabo, and return to his previous roles in other iterations.
Older brother, actually. I know he can be quite a handful, but take it easy on the kid.
Moving on to the world of anime movies, Johnny's first role was Shotaro Kaneda in the acclaimed movie Akira. He would join the crew for both Gundam Thunderbolt movies as Daryl Lawrence and was brought on in Digimon Adventure Tri as an older TK. He would continue to voice TK in future Digimon productions and would return to many of his previous roles in theatrical versions of his shows, including Sailor Moon Eternal Movie, One Piece Stampede, and Code Geass Lelouch of the Resurrection. He would also take on the role of Broly in the Dragon Ball Super superhero movie. He would gain a few roles in Western animation as well, though not quite as major as his prolific anime career. This would include DC Super Friends as Robin, The Lion Guard as Tompak, and Lego Monkey Kid as Neja. His one major role was in the recent Netflix adaptation of Devil May Cry. Moving on to video games, he started with a few minor roles, including some filler roles in Final Fantasy VII Dirge of Cerberus, but After a few more roles, would become the voice and motion actor for Nero in Devil May Cry 4, marking his first interaction with the franchise years before the Netflix cartoon.
I guess this doesn't quite cut it.
What's the point of packing a sword like that if you aren't even gonna use it?
He would also return to video game iterations of some of his anime characters, such as Sasori in the Naruto Shippuden games and Ichigo in Bleach Rebirth of Souls. He next landed the role of Bumblebee in Transformers War for Cybertron. The role would not continue in the sequel, Fall of Cybertron, due to standing orders from Hasbro to make a more aligned universe, forcing a retcon for Bumblebee to remain silent in media going forward. But that's not what this channel is about, so moving on. Getting the role of Yu Narukami in Persona 4 would garner him even more work, as he would come back for further reuse of the character, in not just Persona 4 Golden and Arena, but even in BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle. Capcom would pick up the venerated voice actor to bring Zero to life in Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and would continue this role through Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, and even Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. He would also return all these years later to the role of Adam, aka the Black Ranger, in Power Rangers Battle for the Grid. Johnny also voiced some roles for live-action dubs. This would include Ultraman Blazar and Like a Dragon Yakuza. Johnny also has a discography for music, as he also has a career as a singer and guitar player. But I'm gonna skip that, since singing is very different from voice acting, and I don't want to get any copyright strikes. But I do encourage you to check it out, please. Johnny was married in 2003, and is the father of 2 children. From spandex superhero to anime protagonist to rock and roller, Johnny Young Bosch has done it all. But of course, I didn't mention it all, so go ahead to the comments section below and talk about your favorite performance by this talented martial artist. Hello. My friends, we are back for another episode of Know Your Voice Actor. Today's episode follows the exploits of Kari Wahlgren. Let's go! Born July of 1977, Wahlgren grew up in Hoisington, Kansas. As a child, Kari loved cartoons, especially Disney princess movies. Her family was involved in charities, and they were on tour in California when Kari was asked to do a small role for the radio show Adventures in Odyssey, what one could consider her first voice acting role as Gloria McCoy, although not really. That's all it took for Wahlgren, as she subsequently graduated from the University of Kansas with a bachelor's degree of arts in theater. Kari would move to Kansas City, Missouri, where she would continue to guest star on radio shows before finally moving to Los Angeles in 2000 to take her career to the next level. Her voice acting premiere was in the dub of the acclaimed anime Furikuri, as one of the lead characters, Haruhara Haruko.
I see the bottom's yours, so I'll sleep on top.
Really? Who are you and what do you want?
I'm just a wandering housekeeper.
Tell me the truth.
I'm an alien.
Right, and this afternoon you were a nurse.
What's underneath the Band-Aid?
She paid close attention to the character, as she would alter her performance ever so slightly depending on how she was physically depicted on screen. This established Kari quite well, as she would premiere in multiple anime roles in the following year, including A Little Snow Fairy Sugar as Cinnamon, Chobits as Kotoko, and Last Exile as Lavier Head. She would use different aliases for some of these roles, so if you look them up, you might see some different names, like Kai Jensen, but it's all her. She would join the cast of Naruto as multiple characters, including Tayuya, but would return in Shippuden as even more characters, including Mikoto Uchiha, Sasuke's mother. In 2013, she would take on the mantle of popular anime character Saber from Fate Zero, a role that would earn her a nomination for the BTVA Anime Dub Award. She would continue to voice Saber through the anime's other iterations, and also return to the role of Haruka in the Furikuri sequels. While working on these shows, she also landed the role of Janet Van Dyne, aka Wasp, in Marvel Future Fight. Her latest credit is as Seiko Ayase, the badass grandmother in the hit anime Dandadan.
Don't even or I'll burn all your Ken Takakura merch!
You monster! Don't you dare threaten Ken!
Oh, blow me. You threatened my Bakatono DVDs first.
Seriously, she's a grandma? Tell me your secrets, sister. In the world of Western animation, her first role was as Nova in Super Robot Monkey Team Hyperforce Go. She would guest star in many other roles throughout the years in shows, including American Dragon, Jake Long, Ben 10, and Kim Possible. She would go on to join the cast of the Legion of Superheroes as Saturn Girl. She played multiple roles in the cartoon, but this one was one of the leads. That does, however, show her prowess as a voice talent. She would also join the cast of Phineas and Ferb as the adorable but antagonistic Susie Johnson.
I don't think so, short stuff. I think you
and I are about to have a giant Matrix-like battle.
She's probably going to return to the role since Phineas and Ferb was renewed on Disney+. Not missing a beat, it would only be a few years later that Walgren would join Wolverine and the X-Men as the infamous Ice Queen, Emma Frost, giving us a very chilling performance. Eh? Hey, you see what I did there? You see? Because she got the name of the... Okay. Carrie would return to the world of Ben 10 in Ultimate Alien, this time as the villain Charmcaster, a character that would become a rival for Gwen Tennyson.
Wait, she doesn't have any power left?
Oh yeah, I was lying.
Well, I'm telling the truth. I'm going to destroy you all!
After the success of Kung Fu Panda, Nickelodeon wanted to adopt the version for television, and it was Carrie Walgren that was tapped for the role of Tigress, a role that would land her a nomination for the 2012 BTVA Voice Acting Award. She had a second nomination for the award for her work on Kaijudo: Rise of the Duel Masters. Does anyone remember that show besides me? Carrie would return to the role of Saturn Girl, but a completely different rendition of the character in Young Justice, along with the role of Phantom Girl.
Look, we have a lot to explain. It would help if you'd allow me to telepathically link with...
No. We talk, with words. I don't know you well enough to give you access to my mind.
Fine. We are from the future. We came back to your era to prevent a disaster. The death of Superboy.
She guest starred in 2 episodes of Star Wars The Clone Wars as Letta Termond, but that was enough for her to earn another nomination for the BTVA Voice Acting Award. She would continue to have many more guest starring roles afterwards, including many extra voices for Breadwinners, before returning to the role of Wasp in Avengers Assemble.
Right? You want to apologize to us before you get beaten up or after? Jan, and don't think I've forgotten about you, robot girl. I mean, seriously, do you really think you're gonna walk away from this? You think you're the only wannabe world ruler we've taken down?
As if being the hero wasn't enough, she would also join the ranks of Marvel villainy and Guardians of the Galaxy as Promena Midnight. Walgren would join the world of Transformers through the Machinima trilogy as Victorion. Carrie was not exclusive to Marvel, as she would join the cast of DC superhero girls as Zatanna and Star Sapphire.
Oh, slow your roll. I think I know a spell that can really help your dad and you see eye to eye. Really? Really?
Continuing through her role of guest credits, she had recurring roles on Amphibia, a multitude of roles on Infinity Train, and was heavily involved in the Animaniacs revival as a slew of supporting characters. Returning to the world of Transformers, Walgren would play a human this time, the antagonist Karen Croft in Transformers Earthspark. She would also have a small but important role as Martha Kent, as well as young Clark in My Adventures with Superman.
Thank you. And not just for the fruit. After his powers showed up, Clark was so scared of hurting someone that he kept himself at a distance. But now he has you with him. So again, Lois Lane, thank you.
Carrie would eventually garner an award, the Children's and Family Emmy Award for Outstanding Voice Performer in a Preschool Animated Program, and this was for the various roles she played in Super Kitties. In the world of animated feature films, as expected, she played mostly small roles. These would include Shrek the Third, Tangled, and Hotel Transylvania 2. Her direct-to-video credits include Sayako Misaki in Pet Labor the Movie 3, and lead character Sakura Kinomoto in Cardcaptor Sakura Movie 2, The Sealed Card. She would also bring to life Enchantress in Hulk vs. Thor. Adding to her Marvel credentials, she would also take on the role of S.H.I.E.L.D. agent Maria Hill in Iron Man Rise of the Technovore and Avengers Confidential, Black Widow, and Punisher. She would also add to her DC credits with Wonder Woman from LEGO Justice League Cosmic Clash.
Think nothing of it, Cyborg. On Paradise Island, we Amazons learned that the well-being of others is always what matters most.
And Starfire, starting in Justice League vs. Teen Titans and iterations afterwards. Following up with video games, one of her first roles was a minor uncredited role in Xenosaga Episode 1, Der Wild zur Macht. She would land more significant roles in no time, such as Rain Sage in Tales of Symphonia and Lady in Devil May Cry 3.
You're the one who doesn't get it. It's not something you can reason with. It has nothing to do with me being a human and you being a demon. I'm driven by the inability to forgive him. My soul is screaming, demanding me to kill him.
She would continue to provide voices for the Xenosaga trilogy as the games released, and would eventually join the cast of Final Fantasy XII as Ash. She would also gain a recurring role in Dead or Alive as Kasumi. The world of giant robots would beckon Carrie's return, and she would play the role of RC in Transformers War for Cybertron. A small role, if I recall. I think she was only playable in the multiplayer mode. In the game, Marvel vs. Capcom 3, Walgren was brought on, but this time as a Capcom character, Jill Valentine.
Die!
Her recurring roles include franchises such as Guild Wars, Metal Gear Solid, and even Skylanders. In Final Fantasy XV, Walgren would play frenemy Aranea Highwind.
Quitting time. Sorry, but this girl doesn't work after hours. I could, but there wouldn't be a single gill in it for me. We should play again sometime, pretty boy.
And would join the cast of Mortal Kombat 11 as Kitana and Mylena, roles she would continue in further iterations. Her latest credit is Windolin in the new dating sim game, Date Everything, a game apparently known for having a stacked voice cast. Maybe I should check this out. When it comes to live-action TV, as you'd expect, small guest appearances here and there. That would include Wizards of Waverly Place, Criminal Minds, and Supergirl. When it comes to live films, Carrie's first role was actually Tinkerbell in an indie production of Peter Pan called Neverland. She also played herself in the documentary I Know That Voice. Carrie would fall in love with Nitro drummer Bobby Rock, and they would have a son in February of 2023. And that does it for the life and talent of Carrie Walgren. As established before, there is plenty of work she's done that I left out, so please go ahead to the comments section and discuss your favorite roles, and let me know who you would like to see covered next time on Know Your Voice Actor. Welcome back, friends and cohorts. I hope you're ready for another episode of Know Your Voice Actor. Today, we are going over someone who is definitely among my favorites. The Baron of Bass, the Duke of Deep Vocals. Say it with me, Kevin Michael Richardson. Let's jump right in. Born in the Bronx of New York City fame in October of 1964, Richardson went straight for the jugular as he attended Syracuse University, earning a bachelor's degree in fine arts. He had done some commercials before finally deciding to move to Los Angeles. He started out with a pretty lengthy list of albeit minor live-action roles, so we'll start there this time. His list of film credits include comedy parodies, Fatal Instinct, and Spy Hard. He would continue to have minor roles in movies leading up to his special role as a disembodied voice of a Prime in Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen.
You have fought for Optimus, our last descendant, with courage and with sacrifice.
This is interesting because this is not his first performance in the world of Transformers, but more on that later. His TV credits are pretty similar, having guest spots on shows like Herman's Head and Mad About You, and of note, a 3-episode appearance in the hit drama ER. His first voice role on TV was providing extra voices for Skeleton Warriors, but his amazing vocal cords landed him a more prominent role in The Mask, the animated series, as Mayor Mortimer Tilton. A few more minor roles, including some work on Pinky and the Brain, Kevin would land another big role as Exile in the short-lived comedy Road Rovers.
His wiener dog friend. Now I am doing the jogging.
Yeah, let me Heimlich you.
Don't even think about it.
Richardson was no stranger to the world of adult comedy, as he would join the cast of Eddie Murphy's The PJs, another short-lived show, as Papa Hudson, and Family Guy as Cleveland Jr. Being such a prominent, powerful voice, Kevin was featured either prominently, or at least in some capacity, across media on a consistency that would easily challenge my video on Yuri Lowenthal. He went on to join the cast of Big Guy and Rusty the Boy Robot, The Weekenders, Samurai Jack, and Static Shock. He would also play a supporting role as Dr. Payne in Disney's popular animated series, The Proud Family.
Anything for you, Sugar Bear. She's gonna be okay, itty bitty. In about a month!
Though we're still in the section about animated series, this next role actually started as a movie. Captain Gantu, the gargantuan antagonist in Lilo and Stitch. He would revise the role in the animated series as a recurring villain. Speaking of villainy, a few years later, he was given the most unlikely role for someone with such a deep voice, but something he pulled off quite well, at least in my opinion. Joker from The Batman.
What rational being dresses like you? Speaking of threads, think this is a good look for me?
This role would get him nominated for a Daytime Emmy for Outstanding Performance in an Animated Program. Turns out I underestimated his voice range. He would earn nominations for Voice Actor of the Year for both 2012 and 2013 by Behind the Voice Actor. Skipping over more of his many guest starring roles, seriously, we'd be here all day. He was cast as Schnitzel in the comedy Chowder, but only for the pilot episode. Due to scheduling conflicts, he had to drop the role, which would then get picked up by John DiMaggio. Stay tuned for that episode. Pushing forward even more, Kevin continued to bring the thunder to roles like Bishop in Wolverine and the X-Men, and Roadblock in G.I. Joe Renegades. But now, we're talking about one of my more obvious favorite roles, Bulkhead in the fan-favorite series, Transformers Prime.
Not even scraplets.
Look, soldier, you know as well as I do there's the mission.
and the reason why you take the mission.
Honor. Duty.
Family. Which is why you need to do whatever it takes to finish this job and come home safely.
You're right, Fowler. I gotta dig deep. For the other bots. For Miko.
This technically isn't his first role for the Transformers franchise. That honor actually goes to Omega Supreme in Transformers Animated. But that was actually a guest appearance, not quite as prominent. It would be many years after this he would provide his voice to the third Transformers movie. Richardson continued to crush it, either getting big roles, such as Kilowog in the ill-fated Green Lantern cartoon, or guest starring in major franchises, including both incarnations of the Avatar franchise. His next big role of note was as the Shredder in the 3 animated Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles produced by Nickelodeon.
There is undoubtedly a fascinating story in how my old nemesis came to teach ninjutsu to 4 mutant turtles. Perhaps I will let one of you live long enough to tell it.
Moving on to another significant role, Guardians of the Galaxy had become popular after their first movie premiered, prompting Disney to create an animated series, in which Richardson was cast as Groot. Oddly, he was not brought back for Marvel Rivals. Such a shame. Continuing to bring all sorts of characters to life, his filmography would grow to include Jabba the Hutt thanks to the roles in LEGO Star Wars All-Stars and Summer Vacation. His most current listed role is Sebastian in the new Ariel preschool series.
Ariel, we don't know what I'm going to do. Tomorrow is Atlantica Day and a song and your father and I don't know what it is.
Moving on to the world of animated movies, because honestly his TV credentials are too many to cover properly, he started in minor roles for movies like All Dogs Go to Heaven 2 and Rugrats in Paris. He would also join the world of Studio Ghibli, helping dub the Mama Ayuto gang in Porco Rosso, and playing the role of Bunta in Pom Poko. One of the more interesting roles was Mr. Dinkles in Trolls World Tour.
I told you we needed more glitter.
A few minor lines that were nonetheless impactful. And speaking of his vocal range, he was Kamek, one of the minions of Bowser, villain of the Super Mario Bros. Movie.
Behold, the king of the Koopas!
I tell ya, this guy is good. Moving through direct-to-video, he would continue his role as Captain Gantu in the Lilo & Stitch sequels, but he would also get cast as Barney Rubble in the Flintstones on the Rocks. Outside of his recurring roles, Richardson would join the cast of Afro Samurai Resurrection and get cast as Korg in Planet Hulk. Though he would not always maintain the role of Groot, he was still able to bring the alien flora to life in LEGO Marvel's Avengers Mission Demolition. In the world of video games, Richardson would continue to show his prowess, getting cast across the board in games like Fallout 2, Baldur's Gate, and Star Wars Force Commander. He would also have more recurring roles for characters brought to life in other media, such as Captain Gantu in the Lilo & Stitch games, which I didn't even know existed.
Jumba, I've finally caught up with you. Oh, and how convenient. Your genetic experiment is here as well. You're both under arrest.
He was cast in Crash Bandicoot The Wrath of Vortex as Crunch Bandicoot, a role he would play again in the racing game Crash Nitro Kart. Kevin would join the crew of World of Warcraft in the expansion Warlords of Draenor, where he took on the role of Grommash Hellscream.
And what, Gul'dan, must we give in return?
He was also constantly tapped to bring many characters to life in the Skylanders franchise. Kevin still lives in Los Angeles with his wife Monica, inheriting the role of stepfather for 2 sons. I definitely glazed over many of Richardson's masterful performances, so please head down to the comments section and tell me what was your favorite performance by this amazing performer. Happy Pride Month, everyone! I am your host, Ronan the VA, and welcome to the next episode of the show I have yet to name. You know what? Until I can think of something better or find a better suggestion, I'm just gonna call it Know Your Voice Actor. Not bad, right? Well, good enough, I guess. Anyway, now let's get into episode 2 of Know Your Voice Actor, Laura Bailey. Born in Mississippi, May of 1981, Laura's father was in the U.S. Air Force, which meant they moved around frequently, from Mississippi to Oklahoma to eventually Texas, where they finally settled down in Allen, Texas. Though young Bailey had a passing interest in the performing arts, even participating in school plays, she was mainly interested at the time in becoming a biologist. It wasn't until she watched a behind-the-scenes special of Dawson's Creek that she realized that acting could be a profession. She then attended Cullen County Community College, where she would participate in more stage productions. It was here when she was spotted and invited to try out for what would be her first role, Kid Trunks in the Funimation dub of Dragon Ball Z.
Oops. Guess I shouldn't have hit him so hard, but at least he's quiet.
Her voice acting career was in full swing as she was cast in more roles, including the lead role of Toru Honda in Fruits Basket, a character Laura was quoted as saying she really enjoyed due to her positivity and joy.
The breeze feels so good.
But it wasn't just cute, fun characters Laura brought to life, as she was cast as Lust, one of the villains from Full Metal Alchemist. She would also do ADR voice directing for Funimation, the list that included Gunslinger Girl and Case Closed. Miss Bailey's filmography would continue to be filled with roles across the anime spectrum, including well-known series like Naruto, One Piece, and Bleach, where she played Anko Mitarashi, Kanis, and Tyr Halibel respectively. She didn't just dub anime, however, and her Western animation credits are no less impressive. Her many roles among the world of Marvel superhero cartoons included Firestar from Superhero Squad and Black Widow from the TV special LEGO Marvel Superheroes Maximum Overload.
We're holding a ton of you guys, so answer present when your name is called.
A role she would reprise again in other iterations, such as Avengers Assemble, Ultimate Spider-Man, and LEGO Marvel Superheroes Avengers Reassemble. She even had to pull double duty as she was also cast as Gwen Stacy in 2017 Spider-Man, which also had Black Widow feature.
Well, what's this? Heavy. And this device looks like it's made from vibranium? Whoa, this is potentially dangerous.
Aside from Marvel, she was also tapped to be a DC supervillain, Cheetah in Batman Unlimited.
What's the problem, Nightwing? Gotham only big enough for one cat lady? You'll make me insecure.
Laura's ever-expanding repertoire would grow to include video games, many being high-profile properties. This included Jaina Proudmoore from World of Warcraft, Rise Kujikawa from Persona 4, and Blaze the Cat from Sonic the Hedgehog. She would also return to voice many video game versions of her Marvel characters and many video game adaptations, including stepping back into the role of Black Widow in the new game, Marvel Rivals.
No way to miss now. Plasma burst!
She would also take on additional DC roles, such as Catwoman in the Batman Telltale series and Batman Enemy Within.
To thank you for tipping me off about the GCPD. I didn't expect it.
Arguably, one of her best video game roles was as MJ Watson from the critically acclaimed Insomnia's Spider-Man games, where she did not just the voice but also the motion capture.
What do you remember about last night?
I just remember feeling tired.
Pete, you're not yourself. That suit is changing you.
I know what many of you are thinking. That's not her best role. What's wrong with you? I said one of, as clearly there are a few video game performances as well known as this one. Abby Anderson from award-winning massive hit The Last of Us 2. Which would earn her the BAFTA Video Game Award for Best Performer in a Leading Role, as well as Best Performance Award in 2020. She would also win Best Performance British Academy Game Award and was nominated for DICE Outstanding Achievement in Character Award. She would also receive a nomination for Best VA Performance at the 2022 Crunchyroll Anime Awards. Bailey does have some live-action credits as well. This would include a minor role in an episode of Walker, Texas Ranger, and film roles such as Mr. Brooks and Ruffian. Laura does have one notable live-action role, however, as she was brought into the popular Dungeons & Dragons web series Critical Role. In her first campaign, she made Vex, a character she would later bring to life in animation in the animated series The Legend of Vox Machina.
Your military is the easy part.
Oh. Then what do you wish of me?
I want you to admit the truth. The dragon killed Mother, Elena. I spent years thinking her death was my fault. That somehow we were the reason you sent her to Byradin. And if we hadn't been born, she might still be alive.
She would return to the table for additional campaigns, but I would urge you to check out Critical Role for more info on that. Another role of note is that she did make a special appearance in the season finale of The Last of Us TV adaptation, where she cameoed as a Firefly nurse. Laura Bailey has spent the last 2 decades building quite impressive filmography of some of media's best-known characters across the spectrum of anime, animation, and video games. and I can only imagine that Miss Bailey has no intention of slowing down. Today, she lives in Los Angeles, California, married to fellow voice actor Travis Willingham and their son. And that concludes the second episode of Know Your Voice Actor. Yeah, we're gonna go with that for now. I don't know. And of course, I didn't cover all of the work of Laura Bailey, so please feel free to tell me your favorite performances down in the comment section below, and tell me what you'd like to see in the next video. Face front, true believers! Another week, another voice actor to cover. And this time, it's gonna be a doozy. At least I'm assuming, as I am literally still writing the script as we speak. But the reason why I'm saying this is because today, we're talking about a pretty heavy hitter in the industry, Yuri Lowenthal. Now, don't get ahead of me here, people. While he is best known as everyone's favorite friendly neighborhood superhero, like many of the other voice actors we've covered, he has quite the interesting repertoire that we're going to cover nonetheless. Yuri Lowenthal was born in March of 1971 in Alliance, Ohio, but grew up in Nashville, Tennessee, eventually moving to North Virginia. He didn't have an interest in acting until he was in his senior year in high school, where he joined the school's drama club. But it was enough to get him bitten by the acting bug. He attended the College of William and Mary, where he participated in school gymnastics and majored in East Asian Studies, studying abroad in Osaka, Japan, and even joining Japan Exchange and Teaching Program to help out foreign English teachers in Shiga Prefecture. These programs didn't stop him from continuing his studies in acting and theater. Even after all of these accomplishments, he still wanted to try his hand at acting full-time. So he moved to New York City, where he would join off-Broadway productions. I mean, off-Broadway. He did this for about 6 years, and included some indie film work. Starting with his first role in the world of dubbing anime, Yuri was cast as Baku Netsumaru in SD Gundam Force.
What? Profane my sacred blade, will you? I've warned you for the last time! Stand still! You coward! Stand still!
And would continue to get cast in anime across the board for years, including Rave Master as the lead Haru Glory, Girls Bravo as Yukinari Sasaki, another lead role, and Sayuki Reload as Son Goku. Yuri would land one of the biggest roles in anime when he was cast as Sasuke Uchiha in the hit anime Naruto.
My name is Sasuke Uchiha. I hate a lot of things, and I don't particularly like anything. What I have is not a dream, because I will make it a reality. I'm going to restore my clan and destroy a certain someone.
A role he would obviously continue in Naruto Shippuden and Boruto. Yuri would continue landing roles in hit anime, including Bleach, Afro Samurai, and Hellsing Ultimate, but then would once again land a major role as Simon, and immediately following that up is Suzaku Kururugi, another big role for the anime Code Geass.
Showing your face in front of me, that's what took nerves. Not your own daring. But you promised? I have no reason to believe any of your promises at this point.
Yuri would continue to put up numbers in the dubbing industry, moving on to Gundam Unicorn as Rid Marcenis, Fully Coolly Progressive as Marco Nagata, and many others before landing the role as Bucky Barnes in the Marvel anime Marvel Future Avengers. What do you know, a different Marvel character.
Captain America, I will now destroy you.
I keep forgetting this show is on Disney+. I need to check it out. This man puts so much work into the anime dub industry, it feels like if there's a new anime announced for Western adaptation, there's a good chance he's going to be attached to it. In the world of Western animation, he started out as an announcer for Rocket Power, before moving on to bigger roles, which would include Young Superman and Legion of Superheroes.
If you're in such a hurry to get home, buddy, you should have just said so.
And then landing the role of teenage Ben Tennyson in Ben 10 Alien Force and Ultimate Alien. And this is what I mean by putting in the work. This is happening at the same time as the lead roles he's getting in anime. This guy is hardcore. Anyway, moving on to his next big role. No, not that one. He was cast as Iceman in Wolverine and the X-Men. After a while, his roles would start to chill out for a bit. He would get minor/guest roles in shows which include Young Justice, the regular show, and Avengers Assemble. He was apparently considered worthy enough to guest star in the 2017 Spider-Man cartoon as several roles, including the Lizard. Nice of them to give him a chance. He would return to lead role status eventually as he was cast as He-Man in the CG reiteration of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe.
By the power of Grayskull, I have the power?
His direct-to-video credits are equally impressive. He landed the role of Kai Urazoe in Digimon Tamers Battle of Adventurers, and then Scarface in Teen Titans Trouble in Tokyo. He would get cast across the DC Animated Universe movies such as The Dark Knight Returns and Justice League God and Monsters. He would also join the Batman Unlimited series as Red Robin. In the world of theatrical releases, he didn't get anything major there. He was Prince Alexander in The Pirates Who Don't Do Anything.
Stand firm, men, for the king and Monteria! Back to the sea, dog!
And had a few vocal roles in Incredibles 2. He returned to his role as Simon in the theatrical release of Gurren Lagann movies, and he had a cameo in Insomniac's Spider-Man in Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Hold your horses, we're getting to it. Moving on to the world of video games, one of Yuri's first roles was a big one, as he was cast as the prince in Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time, a role he would return to in The Two Thrones and The Forgotten Sands. He considered this role a very lucky break, not only because it was a breakout role, but because of his own affinity for video games. He of course would reprise the video game version of his characters, such as Sasuke from Naruto, of which there are many. Yuri would also join the world of Final Fantasy, albeit not major roles, but nonetheless included well-known titles like Dirge of Cerberus, Final Fantasy XII, and Final Fantasy IV Remake, along with Final Fantasy XIII. He would also join the crew of Guilty Gear, starting as the initial voice of Sin Kisuke in Guilty Gear 2 Overture, and then also taking up the role of the super genius Bedman in Guilty Gear Xrd.
Well, I think that marks the conclusion of our little tete-a-tete. I'm a little afraid that if we kept going, I might well break you. So exit stage right then, if you please. You're hardly a match for, well, my glasses, let's say. Perhaps this is a blessing?
He was also cast as everyone's favorite Hobbit, Frodo, in The Lord of the Rings Conquest. Mr. Lowenthal would get a nomination for the NAVGTR Award for his supporting performance in 2011 for his role as Tobias Nebbins in the game Catherine. If you want to know what that acronym is, sorry, but it's too long for my script. You'll have to look it up yourself. He would receive another nomination in 2013 for the same award for his role as Sir Galeth Cooper in Sly Cooper: Thieves in Time.
I am merely biding my time until the proper strategic moment. Yes, that.
Alright, enough beating around the bush. Yuri Lowenthal was cast in Insomniac's big single-player game franchise as the titular character, Peter Parker, aka Spider-Man.
Finally off to Rikers, huh? You know, I think you've got more enemies in there than I do.
If you think this will be more than a minor inconvenience...
Whoop, gotta go. Hey, good luck, Willie. I have a feeling you're gonna need it.
And I do mean franchise, as he returned to the role in the Miles Morales spin-off and Spider-Man 2. The first game earned him a nomination for Best Performance in the 2018 Game Awards and Outstanding Achievement in Character at the 22nd Annual DICE Awards. His return to the role in the second Spider-Man would earn him another nomination for Best Performance in 2023. He will more than likely return to the role if Insomniac makes more Spider-Man games. However, that hasn't stopped Yuri from becoming the vocal face of Spider-Man. He came back to the role immediately in Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, Marvel Future Revolution, Midnight Suns, and of course, the current big hero shooter that I can't seem to stop talking about, Marvel Rivals.
Spider-Man over here!
Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man!
As expected, in the world of live action, he would have some minor roles. This would include Gilmore Girls, Warehouse 13, and Criminal Minds. He also had some small roles in a few live action films. This includes The Arcadian and The Phoenix Incident. Yuri would start his own production company with his wife, fellow voice actor Tara Platt, which would produce its own indie films, including web series Shelf Life. Yuri also co-authored the book Voice Over Voice Actor with his wife. He and Tara Platt have been happily married since 2001 and had a son in 2016. Well, seemed a lot shorter than I thought, or at least I think. I still need to edit. But of course, I did leave out a bunch of stuff, including many other lead roles he had and other web series he worked on. But y'all can talk about it down in the comments section below. Please let me know what roles are your favorite, and let me know what voice actors you'd like to see me cover in the future. This is your friendly neighborhood YouTuber, signing off. Welcome back, kings and queens. We're on to our third episode of Know Your Voice Actor. A most interesting subject today, as he didn't start as a voice actor, not even as an actor, but still managed to become a legend in the industry. We're talking about none other than Nolan North. Let's get started, people. Nolan North was born in 1970 in New Haven, Connecticut, but grew up in Warwick, Rhode Island, where he spent his high school years playing baseball. It was with a baseball scholarship he was able to attend the University of North Carolina to become a journalist. He had then moved to New Jersey to work as a reporter for about a year, before then moving to New York to pursue a career in stand-up comedy and acting. This guy was all over the place, wasn't he? But he wasn't done yet, as he would proceed to move to Los Angeles, where he would eventually land his first major acting role as Dr. Ramsey in the soap opera Port Charles, back in 1997.
Let me say something for the record, Scanlon. If you're waiting for some kind of apology from me, you can forget about it.
It was after the show ended in 2003 that North became more known for his roles in voice acting. His roles started out minor, of course, having already played Skox, a minor role in Disney's The Legend of Tarzan TV series, as well as some work in video games. He would continue to play such roles in shows like Ben 10 and The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, but he would eventually start getting more breakout roles. This would include Cyclops from Wolverine and the X-Men, as well as Colossus, Pyro, and Berserker from said show.
Where is he? Where is Sinister? Then let's do this.
He was then cast in Young Justice as Superboy and Superman.
I had that. I didn't want to take the chance. As it is, your landing could have destabilized the entire bridge. It didn't, but it could have. We don't yet know the limits of your powers. Well, maybe you could, help me figure that out.
In 2012, he would join the pantheon of Transformers voice actors as he was cast in the role of the young, hot-headed Smokescreen in Transformers Prime.
I wasn't thrilled at first, watching the back of an old bot instead of kicking con tailpipe. Sorry. But the Big A turned out to be a great teacher, and a true friend.
He would also land the role of Stoic the Vast in Netflix DreamWorks Dragon series. He would join the cast of Nickelodeon's comedy cartoon Breadwinners as Onsky the Great and Stephen Quackbird. Oh, now why does he look familiar? Anyway, North's career would continue even after these shows had ended, because he was then cast as Scroopy Noopers in Rick and Morty and the titular Blaze in Blaze and the Monster Machines. Both shows are still ongoing as far as I know. After guest starring in multiple episodes of the Guardians of the Galaxy as several characters, including the High Evolutionary,
Step away from the sarcophagus, and I promise to make your end swift.
North would eventually return to the world of Transformers in Titan's Return as Metroplex. He would then return to the world of young kids cartoons when he was cast in The Lion Guard as Tamka, Nayuni, Fahari, and Kuduha. Kuduha? I'm sorry, I do not know how to pronounce those names. I've never watched the show. My apologies. Nolan would also join the cast of Star Trek Lower Decks as Nico, a minor recurring role. North would once again return to the ever-growing world of Transformers when he was cast as Swindle and Hardtop, respectively, in Transformers Earthspark.
Can't wait to tell the cons about how I dented up Optimus Prime.
Sorry to disappoint.
Ah, scrud.
Minor characters that nonetheless would return throughout the show's 3 seasons. In the world of animated movies, his repertoire would definitely include some, less than favorable credits. He still managed, though, to land a few noteworthy roles. This included some minor roles in the SpongeBob movie Sponge Out of Water, but he would also manage to land the role of Raphael in the 2007 animated movie TMNT.
You are so smug! You know that? You think the world revolves around you, don't you? That we couldn't possibly survive without the mighty and powerful Leonardo to guide us through our problems, huh? Well, I got a newsflash for you. We got along just fine without you!
He had also played the role of Terrence in the Angry Birds movies, but he doesn't really speak much in those, does he?
Are we speaking telepathically, or you're just... Good talk.
North had also done some direct-to-video work, which included Ant-Man/Giant Man in Ultimate Avengers 1 and 2.
Nah. I look at it this way. You got what you deserved. Speaking of which, have you cracked that serum yet?
And Deadpool and Hulk Versus.
Who wants snacks? You do! Logan, I think we lost him!
He would pull superhero double duty again as he was cast in Justice League Crisis on Two Earths as Green Lantern.
I've played this game before.
He would do even more work for DC, as he went on to play Penguin in Batman Assault on Arkham and Superman in LEGO DC Batman Beleaguered. Who came up with these titles? He would continue to voice Superman and Green Lantern throughout multiple films, both LEGO and original, all the way up to the current, the last film noted being Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths, which means he will most likely return to those roles should they decide to roll out more animated movies. North is no slacker in the world of video games as well. His first role was Hinckley in Interstate 82, and he played the war reward Fish in 2003's The Cat in the Hat game.
He's also got the crab lock you need to reseal your crate. Chase him out of whatever worlds he decides to hide in. With the magic he's collecting, he's eventually going to fight back.
He would then go on to play minor roles throughout the 2000s. Of note, there are many voices he provided for the MMO Guild Wars, which included Menlo and Palawajoko. And if you play Guild Wars 2 as a human male, then that's Nolan North's voice that you're listening to.
Now, we struggle to hold our ground. We've been defeated, driven back, broken, but we will not surrender.
Nolan would return to major character status when he was cast as Hades in 2005's God of War. A short-lived role, but an appreciated one nonetheless. Returning to the world of Marvel and video games, Nolan brought Ghost Rider, Hawkeye, and Colossus to life in Marvel Ultimate Alliance, and years later in Ultimate Alliance 2 as Sentry. His Marvel credentials would continue to include Rocket Raccoon and Tombstone from Marvel Heroes, and the titular Deadpool from the game of the same name.
Nolan! Hey, what's up, buddy? We're making a game about me. Gotta have you do the VO, man. I mean, see, here's the thing. People tell me we sound alike.
Which got him a nomination for Best Lead Vocal Performance in a Video Game. He continues to this day, bringing everyone's favorite foul-mouthed trash panda to life as he was tapped to reprise his role as Rocket in the new team shooter, Marvel Rivals.
Oh, snarkies. The time stream is flarked.
Once again, because he can't keep a good bot down, Nolan would return to the world of Transformers, playing Brawl in High Moon's War for Cybertron, and added Cliffjumper and Bruticus to his list in the sequel, Fall of Cybertron.
Guns are online, Onslaught! Ready to pound some metal!
Nolan would gain nominations for his video game performances throughout his career, including the role of Nathan Drake in Uncharted 2, getting him a VGX nomination for Motion Capture and Best Voice Actor. He would be nominated again for the award for Uncharted 3, as well as a BAFTA Game Award for Best Performer and other nomination for BTVA Award for Best Performance in a Video Game. Uncharted Golden Abyss would net him another BAFTA nomination, but thus far, always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Nolan would buck the trend eventually, as he would receive another BTVA nomination for his role as David in The Last of Us, but would win Best Vocal Performance in a Supporting Role. He would also win Best Performance for Uncharted 4, and would get the People's Choice Award for Voice Actor of the Year. Nolan would continue to play prominent roles across the video game industry, so I'm going to cut the video off here with a few more honorable mentions, including Final Fantasy 13 and 14, the Saints Row franchise, Skylanders, Destiny 2, Call of Duty, and the Elder Scrolls Online. Yes, there's more, but we need to move on. Nolan played a few minor roles in the world of live-action film, which did include a cameo in the Uncharted feature film.
What the hell happened to you two?
Fell out of a car that fell out of a plane?
Huh. Hey, something like that happened to me once.
Aside from his role as Dr. Ramsey, Nolan would go on to have guest spots on other shows, including 6 Feet Under, NCIS, and Modern Family. Out of all the voice actors I've reviewed so far, Nolan North has probably the most impressive video game resume I've seen so far. Nolan is married to fellow soap opera actor Jill Murray, and they have 2 children together. And that does it on the prolific career of Nolan North, and I wouldn't mind him coming back in another role for Transformers, personally. But, as I said before, I didn't cover all of his credentials, especially in the world of video games, which is impressive to say the least, so please head down to the comments to mention your favorite role, as well as drop some suggestions down for what voice actors you'd like to see me cover in the future. Hey, you made it to the end of the video, congrats! Thanks for watching to the end, and if you enjoyed it, please do the YouTube thing, like, comment, subscribe. Or if you didn't enjoy it, go ahead and comment about that as well. And if you can, please check out these links to Bunny Cake, the artist who made these images, and show her some love, and be sure to check out my Blue Sky as well, all down in the description. Stay frosty, beautiful people. Bye-bye.